Oh, what a rush this morning. It's all my fault. I've just got to go and do one thing. Hope you're all well. Hope you are all well. Have you seen? I've had a haircut. Oh, so happy, so happy. Ah. So, yes, short hair. Oh, and I really must adjust so that I don't end up with the camera there, but hey, we're friends together, so that's all right. Okay, so what do I need to get out? I need a card base. Hi, Judith. Woo woo! Excellent. You should get your PDF later today. I've just got one or two minor things still to finish up, and then they will be sent out and they go by email. So the videos are all done. I just need to do my final proofread, really. So hopefully later today they will be with you. Have I got everything else that I need? Almost. Almost. So I need some more Whisper White. So that's easy. Ooh. So I thought I would, because someone commented on this on Thursday afternoon, that they're missing Simple Stamping Saturday. So I thought I would do a quick Simple Stamping Saturday. Sorry, I'm rummaging to try and find the envelopes that go with my note cards. There we go. So yes, Simple Stamping Saturday live. How is that? One more thing I'm going to need, of course, are those. So I'll let everyone have some time to find us. Obviously we are live because Judith has found me. So Judith, how are things with you today? Is it a sunny day with you? It is with us. I've got a nice coffee as well. Oh, that's good. I do prefer my coffee hot. Oh, and I do prefer my lights properly on. So Rita is here from Australia. I'm guessing good evening would be appropriate. I do like my coffee hot. That may be a little bit on the hot side. Beautiful day. Yeah, it's a lovely day here. It's a perfect day for not doing crafting. But hey, I like to be with you, so that's fine. And we're looking at new things. Oh, let's get the whole of the new thing that I just realised I've only got a little bit of. So I did an unboxing video earlier in the week, which I'm hoping I will post live, not live, post to go live. Probably, I may do a special for tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll be Monday. It really depends on how things go. Hello, Barbara. Live twice, I know. Morning, Claire. Loving my coffee. My hands are actually quite chilly. We had a heavy frost again this morning, and I haven't quite caught up. Morning, Lorna. Oh, that coffee's good. I'm very picky about my coffee. Oh, I've got a runny eye as well. Very picky about my coffee, and I get it from a company called Pact, P-A-C-T, who send it through the mail. I had your hair cut at the beginning of the week. I know. I had to say I had it cut, dyed and highlighted. I had what I call the full works. My hairdresser comes to me. So we sat in the kitchen we've got bifolds, so we sat in the kitchen, so we had electricity, but with the bifolds open so that we got some ventilation, and she, bless her, was wearing a mask the whole way through, which I couldn't because I was having colour. Yes, as I had COVID, as we all know, as I had COVID, the chance of me catching it is very low. But the chance of her catching it obviously is still the same. But she is being so careful. Anyway, we currently have 7 people viewing, which is not bad for the first thing on a Saturday morning, particularly with a sunny morning. So hi Renee. So I will get started and talk through what we are going to be doing. So we're going to be doing quite a lot of from scratch. Now I just need to make sure I get this on the right side of the camera. Yes. So we're using Party Puffins. Party Puffins are new. They are new. Yeah, it's the way to go. Hi, Kay. So yes, Party Puffins. Whoop, whoop. Love a Party Puffin. This was actually, I say that, this was a bit of a surprise for me. It was on pre-order and it was one of my, yeah, maybe. And when I looked at it again, I thought, actually, you know, I need a few younger stamp sets. Most of my younger stamp sets have disappeared. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to regret doing this, but hey. I don't know if you can see that up that way. That's where my stamps are stored. And there's space. There's actually space on both shelves. Normally they are over full. I say normally, by the end of a catalogue, they are over full. So by the end of the annual and mini, they would be absolutely over full. So I don't think I've got, oh, Hippo and Friends or Hippo Happiness is about the only one. Morning, Audrey. I hope the weather is reasonable in Scotland. You've got dark glasses on, so I'm assuming it is. Anyway, so Party Puffins. It's a red rubber set, and it's just cute. And I have to say, one of my favourite images is, let me see if I can get it in shot, is, whoops, this one. Because puffins, of course, eat fish. So why wouldn't they want a birthday present of a fish? Morning, Jane, who has also got her Butterfly Brilliance card kit in the mail, Creativity in a Box. So I was just saying to, oh, my brain is going, to Judith, that the PDF should be out later today. I'm just doing my final editing. Right, I was going to change my grid paper and I've just realised I haven't, but hey, you'll be fine. We'll be fine. So this is red rubber, so I'm literally going to go through from start. So how you set up your stamps, those sorts of things, because some people find that really difficult. And as I am doing a revisit of Simple Stamping Saturday, I think it's useful, morning, Catherine, I think it's useful to go through literally the whole thing. So I'm going to do picture in picture so you can see me and see what's going on. And of course I have moved everything, as in my camera, so it's now, that's better. So let me flip back so I can see your comments. All this IT. I use a piece of streaming software to do this so that I can do picture in picture and all those good things, and I can see your comments and what have you, but it means I have to flip between the two. Right, so Party Puffins, it's red rubber, so this is how you would get it, and you get your sheet of stickers. Now, if you've got any of the old cling mount stamps where the stickers didn't really stick, this area here is very good for putting onto your, on top of the old stickers. So just so you know. So we're going to be using that, and I will mount those up as we go. I'm also using paper from this paper pack, which is huge. It is 48 sheets. Yep, 48 sheets. And you get, let me see if I can remember. Yeah, it's 4 sheets of each. The colours are Crushed Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Misty Moonlight, Pale Papaya, which is one of the new in colours, Pretty Pink, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, and it's on a white base. So let's just have a quick flip through these, because They're black and white and colour. So this is like stitching, and there's a new stamp set which has got this same sort of zigzag stitching. So really nice, really usable patterns, and even better, it's free because it is one of the host gifts. So not just stamps in the host for the host gifts this year, you can get paper as well. So a lot of these are what I would call a solid. So if you're doing scrapbooking, I would use this as a solid. In fact, so far, yep, I would use all of them as a solid. We've got white with dots on, a random dot pattern, white with dotty stripes, with a lovely stripe here. This is Flirty Flamingo. A kind of zigzag chevron-y, which this goes with the, is it Wildcats, Big Cats? Anyway, there's a new suite which is all around tigers and leopards and things, and very much this sort of pattern. Animal print very in at the moment, so I'm told. Leaves with this pattern, which is the one that I'm going to be using today. So it's a nice rainbow hearts with a black and white stripe, black with white dots and another rainbow, diagonal rainbow, black and white flowers. This was a bit like the Dino Raw paper, and another geometric pattern, and then some sort of circles with this floral. So really useful and free with stamping rewards. So whoop whoop and all that. Right, okay, so starting with a stamp set. I would look up how much this costs, but I haven't got my catalogue here. So what I try to do, I don't always succeed, but what I try to do is at the point where I open Wildcats, thank you, Kay. See, I knew Kay would get me right. I try, if I'm going to use a stamp, to do the whole sheet. I may not do the whole sheet this morning because, you know, you might go to sleep if I do the whole sheet, but I will definitely do the Puffins, and probably it may just be the sentiments that I don't do the whole sheet of. So I just take all the backing paper off as my first thing. How can I get the paper pack? It's gorgeous. So this is something you can only get with stamping rewards. So it would be if you placed a large order. That would be how. It's a new thing that they're trying. So yeah. Now I will not stick the sticker onto the surround. So I haven't really, Catherine, it may be, and I don't know, but it may be that I'll do a host code where you get half a pack or something, or a quarter of a pack. Morning Jan, but I'll look into that. But I only got it all yesterday, or was it the day before? Day before. So I then take the backings off my sticker and take my sticker, or my stamp rather, and just line it up on one edge and then just kind of drop. Now that is one way of doing it. That's how I generally speaking do it. I'm just going to rip all these out so that they're loose, because I can then put the surround back into my stamp case and pop things back in. You can be quite brutal with these. £19 when it goes live. Thank you, Kay. But it's worth a lot. I can't remember what they've put, as you're probably on that page of the new catalogue, Kay. What have they put down as the price if you were able to buy it with real money? Because I know it was a lot. I mean, I bought it because we don't get we don't get to get the host rewards for free when we do pre-order. So I did buy it because that was the only way I could get it. Right, so that is now back in there. And I'm just going to pull this up, because in the section at the back of the catalogue where it says what the host sets are, it says how much you spend in rewards, but also how much... Oh, it's the party puffins that will be £19. Thank you, Michaela. Oh, Kay, sorry. I know you're Michaela here, but you're Kay. So we've done that one. I'm also going to do this little chappy here, but I'm going to try very hard. £29, but I don't think it costs £29 in rewards, does it? I think in rewards it's less than 29, I want to say. I honestly can't remember. So I'm going to take out that piece because I saw another demo, a friend of mine, use that as a balloon, and we'll cover that when we get to it because it's a great idea and I'll let you know who it was and all that good stuff. Right, so that on there and peel off. I'm just going to hold that dot down because I want that to be separate. So that can go there, and this dot, this is where I won't be able to separate the two layers, knowing my luck. So I'm going to use another trick, and this was a trick that somebody else showed, where you stick your sticker onto your block, grab a piercing tool, take your sticker off. Now, obviously this is clear, so it's not as simple, but then you just drop your stamp onto your sticker and peel the whole thing off in one go. So that may be easier for some people to do. So I'll do the other puffin and then we'll start stamping and we'll do anything else as we go along. So Kay, yes, are you able, I know I should, you're always so good at this, are you able to tell me if the £29 is the 17 using rewards? You are a star, thank you. What's the method that's the method you use and you find it easier, do you, Catherine? Yeah, I think it's horses for courses. I do a bit of both. For easy shapes, I tend to just drop it in. That's not that one, that's something else. Right, okay, so I'll pop these to one side and then we will get started. So, Simple Stamping Saturday is, got your new catalogue and you're going to go broke with all the new stuff. Isn't it just an amazing catalogue? I love it. It's actually quite a few pages shorter than the previous catalogue. I think there's less in it, which I think is no bad thing because with the minis, I think we can sometimes get overwhelmed. Right, so I'm going to do a Simple Stamping Saturday version of a card. I'm going to take my center out. So I need a D block. D block is my go-to size block. So anyone in the UK who, or on here, who is a customer, Catherine, Judith, Jane, spring to mind, there may be others, but you definitely will be getting your catalogues very soon. So we're going to have him colour dancing, and then we'll have the other one looking at him as in a quizzical sort of way. So Memento Tuxedo Black, and I do tend to do a squish, just to make sure it's got ink everywhere. Now, if you want a really, really dark image, you can either use Stays On, or you can use the Stamparatus and stamp more than once. Memento doesn't do what I would call a black, as you're about to see. It does more of a grey black. But so yes, if you want it really dark, you need to go either Stays On, and I have to say I have got Stays On. I don't often use it because it's a bit of a nightmare to clean up. But and then I think I'll have this little chappy. But you can otherwise use the Stamparatus, and we may well use the Stamparatus in a moment. So then I'm going to add this little chap. I mean, it could be that this is particularly pale because I need to re-ink it. See you later, Claire. Oh, yes, and of course, Claire will also get a catalogue because she is... I was thinking it was looking the other way. Okay, we'll do that as a technique in a minute. So So do I therefore want this chappy? No, that's going to be too big. So we'll have this guy just tucked in there. That's fine. I can redesign. So we've got our two penguins, puffins even. They're not penguins, they are puffins. And now it was Michaela Tithridge who did this on her Facebook Live earlier this week. The belly of the puffin can be a balloon. Now I don't want it to be black. So what I'll probably do, actually, let me just bear with me. Purely because they come in a pack of 5 and therefore you don't have to get all of them at once, I'm going to use my brand new in box new in colour Stampin' Right markers. Because I can, as they say. Right. So, come on, out you come. Look at these lovely pretty colours. Aren't they lovely? They're actually a bit, these two are actually a bit darker than that. But yeah, I'm going to use, I think I'll use polished pink. Polished pink? Polished pink. So, just because it's easier than introducing a stamp pad for Simple Stamping Saturday, I will probably introduce the stamp pad in a moment. So just add some colour to that. Let's see if that stamps reasonably well. Yeah. You obviously don't get as good a finish with a Stampin' Right marker as you do with, I've just realised I'm almost under my own picture, as you do with an ink pad, but we are where we are. So I'm going to have this guy looking up at this balloon like that. What you can do if you don't like how it's stamped, so let me show you how it has stamped. So if I want to do a more solid shape, of course, I can then come back in. I'm not saying I want to do a more solid shape, but one can come back in and then just reinforce that colour with your marker. Just as a thought. Isn't she just brilliant? Thank you, Kay. Right, I'm going to leave that to dry, but I will then be adding a highlight with my chalk marker. You're going to be dreading me doing this, Kay, because of course I'm going to go, and now I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to, and you're going to be doing all this lovely stuff for me. Basic black Stampin' Right marker you can buy on its own. So I am going to, I am going to bring back in my polished pink and just add, you know that bit at the bottom of a balloon where you've tied it? Just add that to the bottom, which hopefully you can see there. And then I'm going to, I'm not very good at drawings on cards. I normally go off a bit, but hey, let's give it a go. So let's add a bow. And the idea is that it's round his foot, which is why this chappy is looking up. It's sad, isn't it? I really love the You're a Peach Sweet. Ah, well, that's perfect, Jan. I've had people who either love it or hate it. So on my team craft and chat meeting earlier this week, we went through what are the 3 things that aren't on the pre-order list that are at the top of your wish list. And thanks, Audrey. And some people loved the peaches and some people hated them, but they were either one or the other. So I'm going to do to someone who makes others happy, because it, why am I opening the stamp set? Because I haven't put the stamps in yet. To someone who makes others happy is that one. Right, to someone who makes others happy. So, okay, now I'll pop that there. Right, okay. So, to someone who makes others happy. Now, I'm going to go through a little bit of design here. So, design. You either want things to be close together or far apart. You haven't looked at the new catalogue. Good grief, Audrey. Wow. So yes, you either want things close or far apart. So for this, I would either put it up here or down here. Now, because I've got quite a lot down here, I'm going to go up here. What I wouldn't do is go there, because that will look really weird. So just going to give that a quick huff. And there we go. So, to someone who makes others happy. Now, of course, we need to add some colour. And because this is Simple Stamping Saturday, and this is the simple version, I am going to look at my watercolour pencils, which I've got ordered so that the points of one set go that way and the points of the other set go that way. I need pumpkin pie and that didn't, yes, it did work, except that's not right. Those need to go that way. That best laid plans, you know. Anyway, so I've got Daffodil Delight and Pumpkin Pie, and we'll sort that out in a moment, because I need to colour his beak and his feet. Now, I can't remember. I checked this yesterday, and of course I've forgotten. Ooh, we're going a bit... Oh, no, we're back. It looks a bit juddery. Don't know why. Stream Health looks okay. Anyway, so let me... Puffins! I just want to check which way round they go. Images. I can't remember if it's... Right, so it's darkest... Darkest further away. Okay, I wouldn't have thought of that. Right, so the orange is this bit, and the yellow is the bit nearest its face. I may not actually use my blending pen. I may just go for crayon, well, watercolour pencil. So just simply adding colour . And I've accentuated the loop around his foot, just so that it's obvious that it's a loop around his foot. And I've gone a little bit over the line. And then the Daffodil Delight goes here, and I'll hold it up in a minute so that you can see it. So we're looking at that. Now that this is dry, I can add a little highlight. Just there. Let's make sure there's no pink on it. Dot it a bit, get a nice obvious white line. So that's our little highlight. And then I don't like things floating. Blender pens. So I'm going to grab my Smoky Slate Basic Grey, whichever one it is, Basic Grey, and just add a little bit of ground, which also means I can cover up the smush. So I'm literally just adding a little bit of shadow under them. Because this guy is balancing on one leg, I'm going to go back, you know, further out. So let me show you that. And yep, it has got something in it. Just blend that a bit. This will then soften it a bit. And I will show you what not to do in a minute. What I would say is that you don't want to use your blender pen near memento if your memento is not fully dry. You can use it near StazOn, but not near, well, StazOn will just be StazOn because it dries almost instantly. Memento is, what do they say, water-based, fast-drying ink, fade-resistant, acid-free, quickly dries on most papers. When dry, stamped impressions are water-resistant, but that's when dry, they are resistant. So don't get too close, is all I'm saying. So that is basically our simple stamping version. We will, of course, do the envelope because it's simple stamping. So that's our little card. And then for the envelope, making sure I've got the right way up, I'm going to have my little chappy just coming in there, I think. And I may have him, no, I will have him coming there. There we are. So that is that. And when we can, I will add some colour to that in a moment when it's dry. So that's our simple version, which I will pop over there for the moment, have a little tidy up. And then we're going to move on to our, we'll need those two out still, to our casual version. So we're going to add some things. The puffins are just delightful. And I think delightful is the word I'm looking for. I don't think they are cute. I think they are delightful. They are really sweet and yeah, just really nice. So let's pop that away because I'm going to go and grab, so I'm going to be dashing again. I'm going to go and grab the ink pad because then we can have our same colour balloon. If I can find, oops, I put them over here, my ink pad, there we are. So, brand spanking new ink pad. So, how to set one of these up? This really is going to be a tuition, isn't it? How are we doing time-wise? Good grief, we've been going for 35 minutes already. So, they come shrink-wrapped. So you get this sticker bit on the back, and as you know, you just open them up and get rid of the bit of plastic that seems to have adhered itself. There we go. There's a little bit there. This happens through the manufacturing process basically, and I'm not spiking, I'm just picking. You might want to use your spatula end if you get something like that. So the spatula end is this end. Anywho, so that's that. Right, to set it up, I like to know which is the front, which is this one. So I just get, I tend to take the whole of the shiny piece off first so that I'm just left with the stickers like that. This is just how I do it, and then I'll pick up the one I want, preferably having cleaned the ink off my piercing tool. So pick that up, hold it on my take your pick, and they are attracted to the plastic, which is always an interesting thing. So that goes there. Now what I tend to do is then find another language and put it that end. So I'm going to go Bonbon Rosa, otherwise known as Sweet Rose, and pop that there. And that's just so that when it's sitting on my desk the wrong way around, I can see it. That sounds like a very good idea, Catherine. Yes, Sunshine's calling. They are comical, Audrey, the puffins. So for the inside, I take this solid and pop that just in there. Oops, that's gone down too soon. Oh, never mind. It's gone down too soon. It's going to stay down. It doesn't matter. So that is set up. Now, this end of the cover is actually quite good for just pressing things down. And then the rest of it I would get rid of. It just makes it easier to stack. So I would just pick up the end and just peel it back. If you peel it so that it's at a sharp angle, you're less likely to have your label tear. It's doing a little bit, but not too bad. There we go. And then just pick up any bits that are a bit stray. And you're good to go. So that is setting up a new ink pad. And we're all going to need new ink pads because we're going to need the new colours. No sun yet, still dark. Well, yes. Catherine is about 15-20 miles from me. So I can pretty much guarantee that whatever she has weather-wise, I have weather-wise and vice versa. Right, okay, so I have got a thick Whisper White, white. When will I ever get out of calling it Whisper White? A thick white card base, which I have cut long ways. You can cut it short ways and then just score down the middle. And I'm going to bring in my lovely new Designer Series paper, which is the one with the leaves on the back. Let's pop my puffin case up there. Bring in my trimmer. Now I'm going to be going portrait, not landscape, so I'm going to cut this way. Otherwise I would cut this way. I would not do that because that wastes, for me, that wastes paper. So, and that's just a me. I'm cutting this at 4 inches purely because that gives me more options with what is left. So this, I think I did this earlier in the week as well. Excuse me, I've got a tickle in my throat. This almost covers the front of my card. Very, very close. Excuse me. So I like cutting at 4 inches. I'm going to trim it down, but you know. So I normally do 3 and 7/8 by 5 and 5/8. So I'm going to do exactly that. So 3 and 7/8 by 5 and 5/8. So I've done my 5 and 5/8, and that for me is just a nice size for my card. And there we go. So what I'm now going to do is find myself a piece of ordinary Whisper White, ironed, just a scrappity scrap. Oh, actually that might be big enough. Oh no, that's got something stamped on the back. So yes, this is a clean piece. Wow. So what I'm going to do is cut this into a rectangle. Now this is because we're doing casual. I'm not introducing dies at this stage. Look like fish scales. Absolutely, very apt. Of course, though, they would need to be that way up. So let's do it that way up. Hi, Mary from Melbourne. Hello, Rose, also from Australia. Right, so this is 3 and 7/8 wide. So I need to get my trimmer back. So what I tend to do is just reduce by the by the same amount in both directions. So if I want my, let's have a look. This is the scientific way of doing it. Clearly not. Oh, that's not straight. Oh well, that's fine. So I want, oh actually, oh I've had a change of heart. No, I'm just going to cut. So I'm going to go to about 3 inches. That was the piece, wasn't it? That was my cut. So yes, this is cut in the most bizarre way. So that's my right angle. So let me use that right angle. So I've come down 7/8. So I was 5. So I need 4 3/4 in that direction. And then 3 again here. So this is 3 by 4 3/4 inches. And then it's the same proportion as the front of my card, but gives enough gap that you can still see that this is scallops. And I'm going to leave all except the 2 little skinny bits because I'm going to do some fussy cutting. So I'm also going to bring in my Stamparatus, I think. So I'm going to clean my stamps. Don't you love that I'm doing this on the fly? 5 o'clock in the morning in Baltimore. Wow. Wow, Deborah. And it's 7:43 for Mary. So I'm just cleaning these off so that I don't end up with memento all over my hands, because, you know, it's black. And bring in my Stamparatus. And let's just move that so that it's flat. Now, I like to put my stamp case underneath. And what I'm going to do is this one, I think. I'm going to have fussy cut. Yep. I'm just looking at which one would be easier to fussy cut. But, you know, hey, let's go for the difficult one. Then, so I haven't got any mats down because it's a red rubber set. Got a light switch that's annoying the bejeebers out of me, but nothing else. Right, so this is how to get a really nice dark image. So ink up with a memento. Press. And then do the same again. Now I find that 2 or 3, depends on how solid. So I'm doing a simple stamping Saturday, Mary, which means that I've started with a simple card, which I'll show you in a moment, and then I'm beefing it up for a more casual crafter and then a more avid crafter, so someone who's got the catalogue, you know, me. So there we are, nice dark puffin. So let me show you the difference. So this was the one we did with just stamping, and this is the one that we've done 3 layers. So very, very different. This is still a bit damp, so I'll pop that to one side and clean off this one, which of course I'm going to need again later, but hey, actually no, I don't think I will. No, thinking about it, no, I won't. Ha! Just remembered why I won't, because I did actually plan the avid one reasonably. It was the casual one I haven't really planned. So let's pop that there. Then, so that we get the this puffin as dark, I'm going to attach that, and oh, these magnets are incredibly strong. I'm going to bring that there. Yep, that works for what I want to do. Pick him up and do the same again. It really does make a difference, Mary. If you've got, you missed this earlier, but if you like using StazOn, and I'm just lazy, I don't like the cleanup, StazOn will get you a really nice dark black to begin with, but otherwise you do end up with what I would call more of a dark grey. This one actually I'm going to give 4. That's better. Right. So let's get him off. Because again, I can use a block for what I need to do with him next. In fact, I don't need the Stamparatus anymore. because, oh, except I could do the sentiment, couldn't I, while I'm here? Except I need to clean that off as well, because that's still got, ooh, I'm wondering. No, sorry, my brain was going somewhere for a moment and it's come back again. So I could have done these together, but I really wasn't thinking about what I was doing. So so you can use more than one stamp at a time. I know what you mean, Audrey, with the hole in the middle of the puffin, or the stamp for the puffin. It does look really odd. Oops. But I'm guessing one of the reasons they would have done that is you can end up getting over ink in the middle. And if you press too hard, you can end up with ink coming through. So you can push so hard that the stamp goes onto the page. So you could end up with a kind of blob in the middle of its tummy, which is not really what we want. Right, so let's take that off. Remember to take our image off, always a plan. Get rid of the Stamparatus back to its little shelf. I know, isn't it wonderful? It's got a home. Right, okay, so I need to do one more piece of stamping and then a little bit of fussy cutting. So my polished pink ink pad is going to go, I'll just pop it there because I'm then going to fussy cut it. And as I say, this is a lift from the lovely Michaela. I know Michaela really quite well, so I'm sure she won't mind me taking her idea. In fact, I think it was actually one of the people that was watching her idea. I'm going to add my little bit of balloon on. Now you can do that with a blender pen just by picking up some ink from the ink pad with one of the blender pens. So just bear that in mind. So fussy cutting, my favourite thing, one of my favourite things. There are no dies for this, but it's not that difficult an image to cut. So I'm leaving a halo around the edge of my puffin. Yeah, you can, I think it's actually more of an issue with photopolymer, but it can be an issue with open areas on red rubber as well. So by not having the center, that makes it less likely that you will over ink and then over stamp. If you find that you do have that tendency, I think the Stamparatus might help. I think it gives a more even pressure. Just going to get rid of that bit because it's annoying me. Those of you who have watched me fussy cut before will know I quite often do that. Now I tend to, if I'm going to colour and fussy cut, I tend, it's less of an issue with this, to do my fussy cutting first and my colouring later, because if it's a really intricate bit of colouring, you don't want to have spent all that time doing the colouring only to then not do a very good job of your fussy cutting, and then all you need to do is re-stamp and then you can colour again, or just colour, I should say, rather than colouring again. But if you spent 10 or 15 minutes on your colouring, you don't then want to slip with your scissors, only to ruin your colouring. So there we go. So that's matey. And then for the balloon, again, just leave a little halo. Now, if you want, you can go round the edge of your balloon with a black Stampin' Write marker so that it looks as if you've coloured in rather than stamped solid. There we go. By which I mean you could stamp, grab your black marker. Happy feet, absolutely, but yes, they were penguins. So then you could take your marker, I mean, obviously draw in your tie bit as well, and then just go round the outside. So it looks as if you've stamped a balloon and coloured it in, rather than stamped a solid balloon. It's personal choice. I'm very happy to just have the balloon doing its thing. Right, okay, colouring. And again, we are going to be using the same colours, but this time we're using blends. So we're going to go dark pumpkin pie on the end of the beak and his feet. So for any of you who don't know, I will show you why I wouldn't use blends on a note card in a moment. And then it's the end of his beak and his feet. And then dark daffodil delight. Simple as, and then to add some shading, I've got the light smoky slate. So just as I did for our simple version, I'm going to come in. I do not like things hanging in the air. It just upsets me. So I like to give them something to stand on. I'll do this once I know where he's going. But what I'm going to do is soften the edges a bit with my colour lifter. And actually it's not a colour lifter, it's a colour pusher backer. And I will show you what I mean in a moment. So that is why I don't use blends on a note card. And by colouring over with this, you end up pushing the colour back a bit, so it gets a more solid look on the back. So he is going to go there, as if he's sort of flying, I think, this time. Then we'll have our balloon up there again, and we'll join the two. Right, okay, so black Stampin' Right marker. I'm going to start by drawing my bow, and to make sure that we know that it's there, I'm going to add that. Oh, need to go a bit bigger. What I need to do is that and that and that and that. So I've just kind of drawn the ends on, and I'm actually going to extend that a bit so that it's a more obvious bow. And then we can draw our line down part way until we've decided exactly where our penguin's going to go. Now we'll come down a bit. And add a bit of a loop. Right, okay, now all I've got to do is line them up. Happy day. Right, dimensionals. Hello, Bee, I didn't see you sneak in there. Right, let's start with our balloon, which should just about be large enough for a single dimensional, which it is. So I need to line this up so that I cover up my false start on the bow. There we go. And then this one, 1, 2. I'm not putting one there because we're going to have him off the edge of the page. So I'm going to line up his foot first, because that needs to line up with where we've tied the string around him. And then for his shadow, I'm just going to add a bit there. Come in with my blender pen. out a bit. And then we have a bit of a more sensible look. Right, okay, so this is going to go on there, dot, dot, dot. So we can now put everything together. So first things first, let's pop our paper down. Can't see the seal for looking at it. So as ever, I'm concentrating on the corners, making sure that I get a good covering on the corners so that if they do catch, they're okay. I'm going to pop a piece in the middle and just acknowledging that we're using these scallops as scales, putting them upside down, or what I think of upside down. Now you can lift this up. I'm not going to, purely because I've got some ink on it. Mono, this is a sand eraser. It takes small bits of ink off if you're like me and get things in the wrong place. You could lift this up on dimensionals, but that then puts it for the UK into expensive postage, so I'm not going to. And then I'm just going to line this up so it is reasonably central, like that. And that is our stepped up version. So this is the first version, this is our casual, and then all we've got to do is do this. But the DSP, Mary, is the new, it's one of the host rewards in the new annual catalogue. It's called Party Patterns DSP. No, Pattern Party DSP. If you look back through the comments, Michaela gave the cost, which I think was not very much. I want to say £17 in rewards. Let me see if I can find it for you. So it's £29, it's worth £29, but it's £17 in rewards. So we do need to finish off the envelope for our first version. So all I need to do for this is colour in the beak. You don't have to, obviously, but you know, I do. I want to. So that goes with that version. So for our even more stepped up version, I need to just grab one more thing. Can I find it quickly? Yep. So this again is a new set of dies, which goes with a floral stamp set, but it's got these lovely scalloped rectangles. So I think that one might be the one I'm going to go for. No, maybe the next one up. They've all got scallops, but they've all got a slightly different finish inside. So this is dots, this is dashes, this is long dashes, circles, etc. Yep. So this time we are going to die cut our white. I need a new piece of white because I don't have a scrap that's large enough. So I'm not sure this will go through my mini, so I may need to get out my big emboss, cut and emboss. Let's just try. No, it's going to be a bit too tight. I don't like putting rectangles through if they're really, 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 really tight. So don't need that. Oh, second jab. Wonderful, Audrey. That's a good reason to go. Yeah, I'm waiting for my husband to get called for his second jab. Right, this, I'm going to turn this cutting plate over because when it starts bouncing in the middle here, if you turn it over, it will help to keep it flat. So you want it concave, not convex. and then just roll that through. And I always try and do my rectangles on an angle, or anything with a straight edge on an angle. Oh, I've just realised what I was actually going to use. Never mind. Doesn't matter. I was going to use a different set of dies, but it doesn't matter. I will show you the set of dies I was going to use, but I've got all carried away with rectangles. The dies I was going to use are currently buried under my designer series paper. These ones, which are the basic borders. So you've got a kind of cloud, a kind of Moroccan, a zigzag, curve, etc., etc. This is one of the hidden gems in the new catalogue, because it's not a bundle, it kind of just sits on its own. And do remember, if you are not a demonstrator, you can get new stuff just by adding it to a starter kit if it's on the pre-order, and everything that I'm showing you is on pre-order. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to show it to you. And of course there is this lovely scallop here as well. But I've kind of decided to go rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. Right, so I'm going to cut another piece of designer series paper. Well, actually, the piece of designer series paper that we've been using. So again, 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. Now, just so that you know, this I will throw away, this I will keep, because this could be used as just a little strip at some point. The other one is really too ridiculously small. So this is going to go on the front, and then we're going to do some heat embossing. No, this one. So again, let's get this on. Now this time I'm going to be, laying it on fairly thick. And again, let's pop that so that it's scaly. Oops. It's almost straight. And then this will go over the top. Now this is not in proportion, so if I show you on here, so this is longer and almost exactly, well, it's only slightly wider, but it's a lot longer. So I'm going to push it up, which I hope you understand what I mean by push it up. But I'm going to, we've got black embossing powder back, do some black embossing. So I've recently, as in about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour ago, re-inked my Versamark. And, oops, I need a scrap for my big penguin. I'm actually going to go this way. It's a very, very sticky now. Embossing Buddy. And stamp him down. Let's open our lid. I'm just going to trim away that piece. So this goes in here. I should say the black embossing powder is part of a set in the new catalogue, and is not on the pre-order. I just happen to have black embossing powder from when it was last around. And I'm going to leave that now and do all my heating at once. So I need to add Embossing Buddy to my rectangle. And it does get quite interesting keeping stuff out of the dots, but I prefer to do it this way than do my stamping and then put it through the cut and emboss, because you can end up cracking the embossed image and flattening it, and it just doesn't look very attractive. So again, we'll have Matey down here. just get him blacked. I generally do give them 2 coats. I managed to not get to dots, little bits of black anywhere. And then, did I clean that? Yes, I did. And then dabble that twice. And who can guess what's coming out next? Apart from my heat gun. Wow, Candy, 5 o'clock in the morning. Woohoo! Hi, Mary. Don't worry, you can always watch catch up. Right, okay, and we're partying with Puffins. So, heat gun, the trusty cheese board, of course. One trusty cheese board. So, let's pop our, give it a quick pop, quick blow. Now, always make sure that your heat gun is hot before you start melting. Otherwise, you'll end up with very, very curly paper rather than just curly paper. So that's him, and he's beautifully shiny. And as I say, the black is going to be in the new catalogue in, I think it's the basics. So there's metallics and basics. So that is our heat embossing. Whoops, come on. Come on, you little hook. Thank you. I have a hook at the edge of my desk for my heat gun. Right, okay. Now, here's the thing. Blends and heat embossing, not, oh, runny nose, not a great mix. So, what I'm going to do is grab that's Mango Melody, helps me get the right one out. Pumpkin pie, and I'm going to grab my ink pads and use ink rather than blends. Otherwise, you can end up getting blends on your nibs. Not blends, embossing on your nibs. And basically the alcohol in the blends melts the embossing powder, which is not a good look. So I need that to move. Blender pen. And we've already established that, you see, I'm doing this the way around I told you not to. I'm doing the colouring and then the fussy cutting. Hey, when did I ever follow my own advice? That's that one. That one. Scribble that off. clean enough for Daffodil Delight, I think. That's the pumpkin pie. Daffodil Delight. Now, I could have grabbed the Stampin' Right markers. The reason I didn't is because from a cost point of view, to buy a set of Stampin' Right markers for one colour, and you would need to, because you'd need to get 2 sets, because the pumpkin pie is in the Regals and the Daffodil Delight is in the Brights, it would be more expensive than buying 2 ink pads and the blender pens. So, and I think people are more likely to have the stamp, the ink pad. Right, we do still need to do our balloon. So I need my polished pink again. Ooh, I've just had a thought. Just had a thought. My thought is I need to clean that. It's not the thought I had, but I've just had a thought. Bearing in mind that this will be for an avid crafter. Silver, white. Yeah. To get a shiny balloon, this is clear, isn't it? And not, yeah, it's not the sticky. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink. Oh! Fuzzy Shih Tzu. Oh, it's a slightly rude joke, but it's a Shih Tzu joke. Someone went to a zoo and they only had dogs. It was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu. Sorry, that's very rude. So I've inked up with Versamark and with polished pink. Stamp. Clear embossing powder. Get rid of clear embossing powder. Grab trusty cheese board. It was on The Good Fight. Anyway, it made me laugh. So, sorry, that was slightly rude. Not rude, just... So now we have a shiny balloon. Now obviously the little end bit won't be shiny because that's going to be drawn in, but you know, that's just the little end piece. But the vast majority of it is shiny. So, oh, I've just realised I've still got some coffee, which of course is now cold. Totally cold. Right, okay, so a quick bit of fussy cutting and then we're nearly there. But I love that we've got this really nice shiny little chappy with his shiny little chappy friend and a shiny balloon. Absolutely cleverly funny. As I say, it's not my joke, but it was one of those ones. It was, you know, on the next episode of, and they told the joke, and I seriously, I mean, this was about 10 o'clock at night when I was getting quite tired. I seriously laughed out loud. And then when we watched the episode, I still laughed out loud, even though I knew what was coming. It was just, yeah, very clever wordplay. And hey, I do say that I'm not filming for children. So, fussy cutting, not fussy cutting. Let's have a poll. Who likes fussy cutting? I mean, doing it themselves, not other people doing it and then looking at it. Are you a fussy cutter? It is one of those things that the more you do it, the better you get at it. Lorna likes fussy cutting. I mean, don't get me wrong, give me a die that will do it instead and I'll probably use the die, but not having the die, I'll just fussy cut. I mean, anything really, really, really intricate, I may look at twice, but I used to have a pair of scissors, well, I still have, 2 pairs of scissors that are tiny, tiny blades. And I used to fussy cut paper and layer up images using paper. So like decoupage. Right, so then we just need to do our balloon, which was obviously a little bit easier than our puffin. Yes, to fussy cut or not fussy. Haven't mastered it yet, but keep trying. Absolutely. Candy doesn't like fussy cutting. Okay. Yeah, I think it's relaxing as well, Lorna. It's kind of one of those things where, okay, I mean, I am doing 2 things at once because I'm talking to you and fussy cutting. But it is one of those things you can get kind of lost in, which I think is no bad thing sometimes. Right, okay, we're on our final stretch, guys and girls. I had someone who said they didn't like me saying guys. So I'm going to draw my bow. I'm going to go bigger this time. And I'm going to start my thing, decide where my chappy is going, which is going to be about there. Maybe move him over a wee bit. But basically we're going to go there, so we're going to come to here. Can I join up the dots? Phew, just. And loop it round his leg. And I'll add the loop onto his foot when we get there. Oh, I can't pick this thing up. My fingernails, I cut them really, really short, and they're still really, really short. I can't pick anything up. You come to appreciate more since meeting me. You love to fussy cut too, Michaela. We didn't have a golden retriever. I'm assuming you're talking about retrievers. Sorry, I didn't catch all of the comments. We had a yellow Labrador who was so sweet. She was part of my pack basically. We got her. I'd say my parents got her when I was teeny weeny, as in still in my playpen in the days when people had playpens. She could walk through the bars and I couldn't fit through the bars, so she'd walk into my playpen, nick a toy and walk out the other side. But we basically were puppies together. So there's our thingamajig. And we can draw in the, ooh, not using that end. Good grief. We can draw in the loop around his leg. And now I am going to use my smoky slate for the shadow. So I'm going to have my, I'm bouncing in the air shadow there, and my I'm on the ground shadow here. I'm going to just touch very gently the sides of his feet. I think this needs to go a bit further across and up because he's up in the air. And blender pen, colour lifter even. Smush the edges a bit so they fade. Add, I'm going to go expensive because it's an Avid card. So I'm going dimensionals on the back. And then we will be done. I'm not going to add anything. Oh, I might add some rhinestones. I might add some rhinestones, you never know. But for whomever it was, Thank you, Mary. I'm glad you like the bouncing in the air. I'm glad you like the cards as well. They are cute. So this I'm going to push slightly up because we've established it's not the same proportions as the paper behind. And the reason I'm going up is because if you've ever done any framing, as in picture framing, they tend to have a slightly wider bit at the bottom than at the top on the, can't remember what they call the bit, not the frame, it's the bit that goes inside the frame. Anyway, but yes, it's all to do with that. I might just grab some basic, ooh, no, I'm going to go opals, which are carrying over. Or I could go, no, opals. Because opals look kind of fishy. That's my logic. So, oh, it just didn't cover up the the M of makes. So I'm just going to add one large up there. We'll have, no, we won't have it there. One there, and one down. No, I'm gonna go off and there. Just because I can, for no good reason, really. Right, so we have got, in order, our simple stamping version, which needs a really good burnish. So that's our simple stamping version with its little envelope, our casual and our avid. So there we are. Simple Stamping Saturday has returned to YouTube Live. The pandas were very cute. Absolutely, Mary B. This is, yeah. You want to have that. If you're going to have a wide bit and everything else the same, you want the wide bit at the bottom. It's a bit like if you think of a Polaroid photo, it had the white bit at the bottom, and it kind of, our eye is used to it. You didn't pre-order the Puffins. Well, that's fine. You can get them when the catalogue goes live. Thank you, Lorna. So thank you all very much. Let me I'm going to have to do the, you know, the pose. It's got to be done. So let's go to, no, don't want that. I want that. Yes. I'm going to get rid of that and just hold up my 3 cards like, and I'm going to pay out over the top because that's all I could come around the side, couldn't I? I could do that. So there we are. That's those. Let me go back to, so I can see your comments. So always like, thank you, Judith. Well, as I say, someone, I can't remember who it was, but someone commented when I did my YouTube live on Thursday that they really missed Simple Stamping Saturday. So why not? Nora, I didn't realise you were with us. You're here and gone. Hi. You'll be able to watch this back as soon as it's stopped live. Gosh, an hour and 23 minutes. Make sure you've got a drink. And I will be back on Tuesday. I am thinking that from you're never late, Nora. It just means you watch the catch up. Once the new catalogue goes live, I am going to switch my Facebook Live to, which is my Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning UK time, to YouTube. I much prefer the YouTube platform. I get a better quality picture, so I will be shifting completely for my live videos onto YouTube. But I will do that to fall in line with the new catalogue. Thank you, Kay. Thank you as ever for your help. Anyone, if you don't already subscribe, if you would like to, I would be thrilled. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. All these things really help. I keep fluctuating between 9,150 and 9,140 subscribers. And yeah, I want to get to 10,000. Just saying. Anyway, thank you very much indeed. Have a super day. I hope you have a nice sunny day or a quiet evening, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you all again. Thank you, Mary B. I will see you all again, hopefully on Tuesday or sometime very soon. And I'll do my unboxing. I think I'll probably aim for Monday for that, because knowing what I've got to do between now and then, I think Monday is probably a safer day. So that will go live on my website. Thank you, Kay. Kay is a superstar, just saying. Right, fare thee well. I will put up the end screen and then stop recording, streaming.